In today's world, nation building is known as a process which sets in motion the socio-political development of a country by bonding loosely associated societies into common community of one identity under the concept of nation. Therefore, the basic purpose and objective of nation building is to bring unity among the people of a country so that the political viability of a country can sustain for a long period of time. But according to economists, the concept of nation building has always been the process of creating a properly functioning country out of one that is not, which basically means to transform a collapsed country that was either destroyed in a war or never functioned as a country in the first place into a country having a legitimately functioning government and effective social institutions with credible currency and well-functioning economy. Citizens of a country who are considered as the legal members of a nation act as one of the dominant pillars in the process of building a nation. Dynamic cooperation from every individual citizen acts as a major contribution towards this multidimensional concept of nation building. This concept of citizenship, which has obtained a whole new meaning in this current democratic world, majorly emphasizes on the duties and responsibilities of citizens towards one's own nation. Each citizen has to fulfill various duties like paying his taxes, exercise his right to vote, discourage corruption by discouraging bribing, educate people and follow the rules and regulations as a responsible citizen of this country. Therefore, a solid and powerful nation can be built from the dedication and hard work of its citizens and some smart measures and implementations of the government. The progress of a nation greatly depends on its people. Every citizen is obligated to abide by the law and order of the nation, as well as perform their duties as a responsible citizen to maintain harmonious coexistence and take the nation forward. Citizens can contribute by following socially acceptable behavior and morally correct actions. These do not need to be included in the Constitution. Rather, it should be followed out of a pure sense of ethically and morally right notions. Though there are many ways to build a nation, the contribution of a citizen towards this process of building a nation is unparalleled. Citizens are the greatest source of power for a country. Without citizens, a state or a country is just a piece of land. Every citizen's dedication will definitely pave the way towards a better nation. We are the soul of a nation, and when we strive and perform our duties towards the best interest of our country, only then will our country take a step towards development. In today's world, nation building is known as a process which sets in motion the socio-political development of a country by bonding loosely associated societies into common community of one identity under the concept of nation. Therefore, the basic purpose and objective of nation building is to bring unity among the people of a country so that the political viability of a country can sustain for a
Welcome back. Now that was beautiful. I heard the country, of course, when it has the citizens play the soul of a country. Before we dive in, let's welcome our guest, Barrister Jide Ologun. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I think we've graced the show on the buzz and now here again. You've actually been on this particular platform a lot of times. Absolutely. It's good to have you here again.
Thank you.
He's a public affairs analyst, and I must say he's an educator because when he speaks in depth. Now, talking about the soul of the country being the citizens, what would you actually describe the role of the citizens in moving the nation forward?
Let me start by saying that there is no country if there are no citizens, because the people make up the country. And you now begin to discuss on how to identify, harness, maximize the resources of the nation to create development. And when you talk about the role of the citizens, there is a need for governance structure. And in this part of the world, we have adopted democracy, which has been described as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So you see the citizens coming together to say, we cannot all sit together and determine the direction of this society. So let's identify those we can entrust with that mandate. So we have what is called representative and elective democracy. So some people are chosen to go and represent us, and we have three arms of government: the executive, the legislative arm, and the judiciary. And talking about the legislative, which is the front line feature in a democracy, we have a bicameral legislature in Nigeria, at the national level, which gives us the the House of Senate, popularly known as the Red Chamber, and the House of Representatives, the Green Chambers. And we have 109 senators in the Red Chamber and 360 reps member in the Green Chamber, representing the constituencies of citizens in the country to bring about development. And I will summarize their roles by stating what we have in Section 4 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, that says that the National Assembly shall make laws for the peace, order, and good governance of Nigeria. So you now see that it's the responsibility of all citizens to ensure orderliness in the society, to ensure, good governance. And that is why citizens are expected to be participatory, legitimately. And I believe when we begin to deal with specific issues, we have the opportunity of amplifying those participatory roles.
Okay, I want to ask you legitimate function in government right now. How can we do that? Because I believe if you have a legitimate function in government, definitely there'll be an avenue for citizens to play its role. How do we do that?
We have it already. We had an election recently in Nigeria, general elections, where leaders were produced for the presidency, the National Assembly, Houses of Assembly at the state level, governors. And this basic elective structure, we now choose or continue with what we call the MDAs, the ministry, departments, and agencies. We have special advisors, we have that will support the efforts of the elected officials to deliver on the mandate of governance. And when you even move it away from the very formal structure, you come to communities where you have the CDAs, community development associations, that are made up of leaders in the community, identifying the needs in that society, and connecting with the government, synergizing with the government to facilitate interventions that will develop the local communities. And that is how bridges are built between the people and the government. So you find it as a symbiotic relationship, and that is, of course, when you have an ideal situation, because there had been moments when the elected structure we completely ignore the other structure, and that's why people ask that, are you really sure it's the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, where the people do not benefit what has been over amplified as the dividends of democracy. But basically the government structure is to deliver the goodness of governance to the citizens.
Okay, yes, you said something about the government. We have the legitimate government right now operating. Now it's as though a lot of citizens cannot actually penetrate into this government to be able to play their role. So how best do you think the citizens can go about this? Because it's really a big issue. A lot of people say yes, the citizens have the role to play and all of that, but it's as though there is no avenue to even reach this government in play. So what do you think?
The avenues are there. I can speak for Lagos State.
Okay.
Lagos State has what is called Citizens Gate. And you can go and Google it, where you can forward your complaints to the government and for response. And let me say this, if you rise up in your society and say, okay, I want to offer 1,000 students scholarship, you are getting involved in the education sector of government. Will you be ignored for it? Oh, I want to sink boreholes in my community. Oh, we want to come together and attend to this problem in our society. And when you talk about being actively involved in government, you have your representatives in the National Assembly, you have your senators, they have constituency offices back at home. You should have access to them. You have the councillor of the ward is there. The local government chairman is there. Your local government area office, headquarters, must be where you can access. So you must first show interest. Some of us do. We approach them, we ask questions, we suggest on what can be done. Though I can let you know, it's not easy in Nigeria. Nigeria is a place where you have a very close friend who goes into government, and the next time he picks your phone is when he's coming out of office. So, but having said this, you can come together as a group and identify issues. You can register NGOs, you know, and engage, for instance, health issues in your society. So we don't just fold our arms and say, okay, we are going to wait for another 4 years before we get involved. And we have non-governmental organizations that engage the government. We have SERAP, we have some other NGOs that we say, no, explain to us why NNPC should not remit money to the Federation account. Explain to us why refineries are not working. Explain to us why you spend 100 billion naira to turn around moribund refineries. So you get involved. And for analysts like us also, we look at government policies, we evaluate, we do our research, and come out with comparative analysis to say, oh, this is what is likely to happen. Why not go about it this way? And we did that so much, for instance, during the Naira swap and the cash crunch, to let the government know that this may sound like a very good policy, but the implementation wasn't right. And at the end of the day, Nigerians were able to rescue that situation and inject some, you know, health adrenaline back into the economic life of the nation. So don't be passive. Like people say, you don't sit on the fence. In your immediate community, get involved. Add value. I am involved where I live and work, and then we suggest good things and we engage relevant stakeholders.
Okay, all right, very interesting. Like I said, this is going to be a very good breakdown. And obviously, like you said, the citizen has to put interest into the government. If you don't put interest, definitely, you will not want to get involved. And whatever comes, let it come. Then the next 4 months, you're out with your voter's card shouting, I want to vote. So get involved into politics and be part of the government. Well, let's take a short break because our host is around now and I would like him to join us. And please tell us how the rain, went about, since it's always the rainmaker usually. Anyways, let's take it away. We'll be right back after the short break to continue the program.
Yes, you are welcome. What a wonderful day, great day. But we thank God for the gift of life, just as I normally say. We are here today. And you can be sure that because we are here today, we will make things work and things will work in our favor. I want to thank my co-host for holding forth before I come in.
Very welcome.
I know that she has done a great job. And to our guests, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Of course, just as you know, this is our program, Voters Forum, and we are here to talk about how we can be a better Nigerian and how Nigeria can be a better country for us and how together we will enjoy the benefits that God has given us. Barrister Olubi, have you taken account of the mineral resources of this country vis-a-vis the role of the Nigerian in ensuring that these mineral resources are developed for the benefit of Nigerians? Let's leave government alone. There are ways and rules that the Nigerian can play to take advantage of the mineral resources. I'll give you one example. This normal sand that we see, it rains and you see it just on the ground, on the streets. That's on the third road now. And it's something if somebody can just take it on himself to ensure that he clears that thing, and of course put them together and even sell. Or is it not possible?
Some do it. I mean, I can assure you about that. I've seen some young guys
people
on the Long Bridge driving outside Lagos, parking the sand into bags. I've even seen some.
Sorry, because where I'm going is that sand just caused flooding because it now blocks the drainage.
And that does not exonerate the government.
No. Don't go government. Don't go government. Don't go government.
I must.
No.
I'm bringing out an issue here.
Hello, sir. We have talked about government last week. This one is the role of the citizen.
I'm bringing a risk issue there.
Okay.
For those young boys who go and pack the sand to resell,
yes,
some of them may end up in police cell, and I'm speaking from experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can be challenged. So that is the kind of country we are. You know, I've gone, for instance, to a particular community to say, can we do this? And the conditions they will give you, the ballet needs something, and if you want to proceed, you may be accused of trying to encroach. You know, so we have issues. And that is the function of patriotism.
You are talking as a lawyer. Let's talk as patriotic Nigerians. I know I've been involved. I've been involved in ensuring that. So if I'm clearing the drainage now, the police will come and arrest me for being a good citizen.
You asked a question.
Yes.
And I'm responding to it not at our own level, from the level of the general citizenry. For instance,
the ordinary man on the street.
For instance, there are some of them who go around to collect waste and debris.
Yes.
I've read different kinds of news.
Yes.
Some are arrested, you know, and taken away.
Yes.
So we must first entrench the spirit of patriotism. It's just like sometimes an accident happens and people just drive away. It's not proper. But even though we have the law that says you should not victimize those who are trying to help victims of accident, they still don't have good stories to tell. When they try to help,
we'll go there because equally I've been involved in this type of a thing. By my nature, I will see, I travel a lot, and I have seen several accidents that have rescued people. But maybe that will be another issue. Exactly. I want us to look at this one that
generally speaking, we are expected to be good to one another. Let me give you an example. I was driving into Lagos, and on that Kara bridge in the traffic, somebody ran out of fuel after the increase of the pump price. And I asked him, is your problem fuel? Because the passengers left him, and he said yes. So I said, I can offer you about 4 liters. And he came to me and said, for how much? I said, I'm not collecting money from you because you need to get out of this bridge as early as possible. And I gave him the fuel. I asked him to start the vehicle. The vehicle started. I didn't give him any phone number. I didn't collect any phone number from him. And I was happy doing that, you see. But if at the point of doing that, a road safety officer comes, you know, trace officer to say, hey, why are you stopping here? You know, so these are issues. And that's why I appreciate what you are doing through this program, which is called education. Educating the people on the need for us to be each other's keepers.
Good.
But that spirit is fast disappearing.
Good. That's why you are here. Because I know you. We brought you here today for this topic because we know that you can address it and encourage our people that spirit that is disappearing must come back. That is what we mean by being our brother's keeper. By the time that I see somebody on the road and he has issues and I drive past him in a dangerous place, obviously I'm no more my brother's keeper. The police, leave the police alone. When we get to the bridge,
cannot leave them.
No,
I am one. I am one.
But no.
The way to pass this message across is to address it.
Good.
They also need. They are listening to us.
Yeah,
now.
The police are being.
Yes.
You see,
all of us together.
You have already failed this topic. You have already failed because you are coming next week. We are going to deal with this issue. Abi, he has failed this topic. Oh yeah, go on. So the police are listening. Abi,
I am one. By the grace of God, I'm a chief lieutenant of police. In fact, let me tell you this in the spirit of what we are discussing today. I was driving out of Lagos after a radio program in the morning, and I saw a woman alone with her car. It was drizzling, and I told the person driving, I wanted to debate. I said, no, please, let's go and turn back from Kara. Before we got there, she's been robbed.
Whoa.
Those guys wanted to rape her.
What?
And I told the man to stop. So when they saw that we were bold enough to stop,
they ran away.
Disappeared. Do you know a truck coming from Lagos, this truck that brings rocks to Lagos, ran into my vehicle from the back. Thank God the driver was not even killed. So the woman became, and I said, don't bother about vehicle. Vehicle is
your life.
A material thing. It's your life. And do you know eventually the husband was a well-known person to me. So we took her away, we took the vehicle away from them. I now went back to the radio to say this bridge is dangerous. And that is when they now brought policemen for patrol to be there and things like that. Because you don't wait for federal government to do that. So these are issues. And when the family members now came, they were so amazed. And they were saying, what, do we repair your vehicle? I said, vehicle compared to life. In fact, the father, one Alaji in Abeokuta, Alaji Enrile also, he will still phone to pray and things. You see, so, and we need to encourage instances like this.
Good.
You know? And that is why we started asking for patrol on that bridge. And up till now, we are still calling on the government to put their eyes on the criminal activities going on in that axis. So that we don't give them the environment to operate. So these are issues.
We'll get the Inspector General of Police for the issue of people who are helpers not becoming victims of the system.
Barrister, let me quickly do this.
You get what I'm saying? Yes. And I hope people who are outside will get Egbetokun. He will come on this program. We'll get him. Why I would say we will get him is that his first statement was that he's itching, that he's roaring, that he wants to chase criminals away, and he wants to, the second language again, that he wants to, all those who are bandits and so on, he's going to devour them. So we want to see him. We'll give him some few days to settle down. I hope by then, just like Tinubu too, they are doing some things now. They are making things settling.
Barrister Wale, I wanted to say something. I actually have to do this. Barrister Jide, you deserve an applaud from me.
Yes,
that's what you did this morning.
Yes,
I am super proud of that.
No, wait. You are doing Ojoro here. You are doing Ojoro here.
Okay,
No, not we. Me. You. Have you done any public service?
Okay, I'm giving you an applaud. That's a very beautiful one. Thank you so much for.
I deliberately brought him
very good
because I know his background based on this topic.
Yes.
That is going to do justice to it. But unfortunately, we have not moved too far. He has failed. So you are coming back again. Don't worry, our people. If we say somebody failed, it means that we are inviting the person again. Because there are several things that he has brought out. He has uprooted something that he has to put back very well. You can't just bring out things and leave it like that. We are going to talk on the issue of the police. We are going to talk of the issue of you. Don't go away. When we come back, we will discuss further. Let us allow our barrister to go and take some water. You're welcome back. Once more, I'm Wale Ogunade. I'm told that I didn't remember to tell you my name. Anyway, I'm Wale Ogunade. I'm the host of this program. And it's Voters Forum. And I hope you've been educating and educated and education the way you want to look at it. We are here to educate you anyway. And in educating you, we want you to know your civic and political rights. And that's why we strain ourselves to bring you the best brains. Those who have not only just talk, but they have experienced it. It's not just talk alone. They have practicalized it. And it is not as if they are just talking. There are facts and figures for them to work on. My brothers and sisters, please tell your people who are not yet enrolled into this program that Voters Forum is here. It is to educate you. We are going deep and deeper into the program. Now, Barrister Ologo, how can we now encourage people? You know what brought this topic is that there are where you now veered in. I will just quickly take that, then we'll now go into the main topic. If people have issues, break down in dangerous places, they will just drive past. And unfortunately, let's look at your own example. You never knew that person that you helped was somebody who is related to you one way or the other. And there is a Yoruba proverb that says, if you throw stone into the market, or the second leg of it is that if you say you want to close your eyes for somebody bad to pass, you will not know when somebody good will come. So look at it now. It is somebody close to you. If you have left her in that danger, after some time you hear news that even because of the rape and all, the shock, she died. Or even, these people are terrible. They can do so many things after that with her. You hear that news, I'm sure you will not be happy. Because you will know that, and I saw that person, saving a life and saving people from situation is a very good role to play as a Nigerian citizen. You help people, people will help you. Barrister Ologun, please encourage our people the more. Let's leave the police. We're going to address the police. I told you we are going to bring Agbetoko here. I'm sure you know the struggle we did with the people who get shot by robbers and so on. Exactly. They will say, doctors will say they will not treat them and so on. We say no. The principle is that save life first. Then let the person come and face the charges. You say because the person, do you know if he's an accident person, innocent person?
In fact, there are laws covering that aspect.
Oh.
Beautifully so.
Okay then. So, Barrister Ologun, please, even if it's legally, can you talk to us as a lawyer, then as an activist, then as a community leader about people's role in ensuring that the community grows? Government, look at it now. Tinubu is in Abuja. Even he's not in Abuja. He did France, Paris. No be so. Who again? The governor. Only God knows where the governor is. Not in your community. These house people that you have elected, the legislatures, they are not around you. You are the one that will help yourself. Help people around you, and people around you too will help you, so that together Nigeria will be a better place.
I think I will start from the natural angle. When God made man in Genesis 1:28, he gave a mandate after blessing man, replenish the earth. That's a beautiful lesson. And that means you must have a value to give. And let me say this, if you want to help because of human appreciation, you will stop helping. Some of us have gone through it.
True.
There was, we mentioned, I've been in an environment where I saw that the flood could affect the place. And I spent about 300,000 naira to fix the drainage. I have the photographs and everything.
Barrister,
and when I told,
are you a witch, barrister?
No, sir, when I now made it known to the resident, you know what they told me? That I didn't tell anybody. And I asked a question, but were you not seeing the problem? That it's government that should do it. Okay, but we are here. So is anything wrong? And that thing almost discouraged me. And that's when I came to the point that, okay, anything you want to do, just do for God. You know, because the way we were brought up, my parents brought us up to let us know that wherever you are at any point in time is your home. I'm from Okakoko in Ondo State, the capital of the world. If I need help in this studio now,
we'll contest that
and I shout, can they hear in Oka?
No way, no way.
But you people who are around me, we hear that Jide Ologun needs help. So that is hope. And it's not so easy establishing it in our society, because many people have had their fingers burnt. I mean, I can count and count. But just know it within you that you are not expected to get your reward from your society or from human beings, but you see God operating. You know, for instance, now one of the risky area is to help someone tow vehicle. You know where you will find yourself. You that you are towing and the one you are towing. The government will tell you you don't have license to tow. But when I know I can take the risk, when I'm not within the city, I like to help people, because it's not just about you, your generation. A man adopted me as a son in this Lagos, and I honor him today, General Victor Babatope Williams. And when my marriage was concluded in 1996, my mom was still alive. My mom went to him with my brother also to say thank you. And the man said, no, don't thank me. He said two things. He said, I don't know the kind of help Jide's father has rendered in the past. Number two, that he knows that if Jide is in my position, he will do that to others. And I'm sharing this secret with you today. And that is why, if any young man is getting married around me, and I get to hear about it, at least you will get a foreign suit. At least. You may not know why.
Right. So why are you looking at me?
I want to get married. I'm going to get married. I'll change my mind. For information, we just did our wedding anniversary, my wife and myself, 30 years ago. But we are going to get married again.
They won't know the background of that action.
Yes.
But that man by his own kindness,
yes,
has sown a seed into my life
mm,
that I am extending.
mm,
And let me say this, your basic needs in life are so minor.
mm.
Even if you have 87 trillion naira in the bank, you cannot eat a whole cow sitting down
No way.
in one meal. It's not possible. Even if you are the greediest man on earth, you cannot eat more than half of the hand of a cow.
You can't even
Can
eat
you eat the
quarter.
half?
You can't even eat quarter.
And that's what we are saying. So if this is pushed into people,
Yes.
you can come together.
Yes.
You know, add value in your society. It's not about when you identify that problem, what solution can you bring
Yes.
to it?
Yes.
And I think it's important. But I must continue to say that we need to encourage people.
True.
In our society, many have been hit on the head for doing good. But then that should not stop you from doing good.
Doing good.
Because when you go to the scripture, the one who came to die for the sin of the world never committed any sin. You could have, you know, disappeared on the cross and say, I'm not doing it again. But he went all the way to say, let me complete this assignment. And if we start doing this, we will be preparing great leaders, because leaders with good heart that come from the society are not likely to get there and begin to embezzle and corner the resources of the nation to themselves.
Yes.
Our guy here mentioned brilliantly now about the resources in Nigeria. I did the research.
Yes.
40% of the global resources are domiciled in Africa.
Yes.
Africa has no business with poverty.
Yes.
And I believe...
Let you see, you won't fail again. This is another area again that is very, very germane. And I don't think time will permit us. But before we go further, you know, I said, are you a witch? This time yesterday, I was doing serious community work. And I've already sent it. This is the drainage.
Exactly.
Look at it. This is a drainage. I'll see, maybe the technician can bring it up for them to see. That is what we are saying about community work. You don't wait for government.
But some will come out and begin to say, we don't know, is he trying to be pompous? Is he
trying to be proud?
No, careless about that.
We need to work with
my
the
mentor,
orientation.
let me just give
We
you...
need to work with the orientation
Okay.
of Nigerians. You see, one thing I appreciate so much in America is that they appreciate good things.
Yes.
Hey, man, you're looking good, man,
Yes,
and things.
doing
You see,
good.
but here, it's difficult doing good. Some will say they don't know where he has gotten his
His money from.
Maybe he wants to contest
Sure.
for something. It's not just natural. It should be natural in you to be good. It should be. They start
No.
abusing
Some
you.
people find a problem
you-
with you when you do good.
You know, we lawyers will say that something is inherent. And when something is inherent, it's in you. There is no way you can pretend. If you are not it, you are not it. Like they will say this popular medicine, if it's not that one, it can never be it.
Exactly.
Right? So the same thing here. If this thing is in you, there are so many Nigerians that they are good and they do good. But there are some who their own nature is to do bad. But we want to use this opportunity to promote doing good in Nigeria so that together we can move forward. That's the only way it can be well with every one of us. Yes, government has done well, government has its own lapses. But when you as a citizen do your own, then definitely those who are in government too will be forced to do something to encourage. Like in school, like the educational system. I don't know the school you went, but I belong to the set, an old boys set, and my school is Jabode Grammar School. The old boys are seriously involved to the extent that government now wants to be competing with us. Because we want to look at them that if you are useless, then let's leave you. We, the old boys, the school has turned out into something better in life, and we are ready to turn that place into a better place for the generation coming. And that's what I think.
I will request you come and learn from St. Patrick's
I
College.
trust you. I trust you. I trust
The
you.
alumni
So you two, you are involved in that.
Exactly.
So that's what
You
we are
know,
saying.
Fixing the
So let's look at
laboratories,
it.
the admin blocks,
Let's
and
sorry, sir. Let's look at it that down. Everybody who has left school now decides to look back to add a little to the school that made them, because Ijebode Grammar School made me who I am today. I learnt everything there. The English, of course, is a grammar school anyway, and of course, all the rascality that you can think about. I learnt it in that school, and that school produced the best of Nigerians. People who have held great offices all over. Why? Because that people who made it to be, and we too, we are making it to be. So what roles are those who are, because there are some schools you pass by, you say, don't they have old school association? Don't you have students who pass by this school? You know what I'm talking about?
In fact, this thing you mentioned, there was a time I went to my hometown for holiday, and I had to drive to the school to do videos and everything, and that was the springboard. Got back to Lagos, connected with Olumiwa, Ulusa, connected all of them. We started the old students.
I hope they won't be angry that you are calling their nickname
I'm
on there.
honoring them.
Because let
me say this, sir. Let me say this, sir. Senior Olumiwa and some of my other seniors, they are not even from the town. The school is in Iwaro Kakuku.
Yes.
And the way they are carrying it,
they will carry it.
They
will carry it.
You know, it's so amazing.
They will carry it,
and
because
our set also, 82 set. You know, we needed to fix was it the vice principal
quarters,
accommodation, and you know, it's a thing of joy. I recall we met in a party of one of us who is a big pastor, and they were discussing. I said, you guys are discussing. Bring out your checkbook. I brought out my own. What do we need? If we don't start it, we not finish it. And that's the spirit. You know, that's the spirit. And we now wish that our leaders will also have that spirit and look back at the society that has given them the opportunity
I'm happy
to come to limelight.
I'm happy.
And say, oh, my people voted for me in Agege. Let me go back to Agege and be sure that all the roads in Agege are good. Let me, and let me say this, because we need to commend also.
Yes.
If you go around Ikeja, for instance, off Allen Avenue, you see some solar lights. Oh, there's a particular politician who is behind that. I'm not permitted to mention his name, but if you drive around, you're likely to see one of the signposts, roads and things like that. That's what we are talking about. Give back to your society. If the society is dangerous, you have high blood pressure. If the society is safe, you will calm down and enjoy your wealth. You see, so these are issues. Let's love our society. And when we do this, I believe that it will help us to go back to the primary purpose of government, as we have in section 14 subsection 2 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended, that says that the security and the welfare of the citizens shall be the primary purpose of government. So under the welfare, you need to care for your community. Recently, I called some people in our area of Allen here that come. These potholes, let's do something about it before it gets bigger. If you can bring 2 bags of cement, this person can bring sand and things like that. Let's fix it.
Why don't you wait for government?
I actually have a question from a viewer here, and I think the person is reacting to the part where you said, like you said, packing the sand, and of course, you know, some people will hijack you and tell you you're doing the wrong thing. Now, this one is from Folashade Abekuta. She says, "Good morning, Sama. Well done. May God continue to be with you. My question is that, what is the way out now?"
Yes, the way out is that you must be involved. Care less about what the risk will be. We all take risk. We took risk coming here.
Definitely.
Those of us who are involved that ensure that we have democracy today, we took risk. When we were setting up the Save Nigeria group, we took risk. We knew that we wanted to fight government. We took risk. In fact, this one is civilian. When we are dealing with Babangida, we took risk. Some of us went away with it. Some of us died in the trenches. But here we are. We have to take risk. If we didn't fight, there won't be democracy. I am one of those who fought for democracy in this country. And they are enjoying. So we cannot let them to destroy this country for us, because this country is a country that is flowing with milk and honey. You all know that. My brother here knows what I'm talking about. He too has been opportune to travel around the country, around the world. Please, I know you too, like you have traveled. Just ask, I want to ask, have you seen any country that is better than Nigeria?
You know, I was in Texas on vacation, and I had about two more days to return to Nigeria. I recall it was raining, and some Nigerians were there. And I just said, oh, I'm going back to Lagos in 2 days' time. And one of them looked at me, you must be a big man in Nigeria. I said, no. I'm going back to my country. He looked at me again. Like, you are in America, country? You are going back to Nigeria. I love Nigeria. I love this country. The potentials of this nation.
It's too much.
This is a country that has the largest deposit of proven gas in Africa.
Which local government does not have mineral resources?
My state, Sunshine State, Ondo State, and
I
Edo
like you.
State, and
You promoting your state.
The
You give us money for
second
advert.
largest-
You give us money for advert.
second largest deposit of bitumen in the world.
Yes.
The gold deposit in Zamfara State can earn Zamfara State about $2 billion annually. We are not even talking about the oil and things like that. And that's why I'm saying also, sir, that you have so much to do. And that's why I thank God they are now touching the constitution.
Yes.
This issue of exclusive
No,
legislative
we are
list
working on
is
that.
limiting us.
We are working on
How
that.
can there be abundance of crude oil, of bitumen, and the federal government is the one controlling what happens
No,
to
make
them,
it
and
we
they
are
are not
working on that.
maximizing
We are
it?
working on that.
Release them to regions,
We are
to states.
working on that. We are working on that.
You
We are
know,
working on that.
so no matter how we discuss it, the governance structure
Yes.
is still important.
Yes.
This thing, you know, sometimes I had to rescue somebody from unnecessary arrest on Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way.
Okay.
You know, on Allen Avenue, and I'm talking to our people now. On Allen Avenue, we were going to Aromire, and there was traffic, so we were directed to turn back. And getting back to Allen Roundabout, a female police officer stopped the bus in front of me. And I was concerned. So I also parked. And I asked her, she was sitting in front, what was the offense? And she said illegal turning. I said, okay, I also did illegal turning.
turning.
So can you take two of
Of
us
us, we are to the
to
station.
where you are taking him?
Did they have a sign
He said,
there?
we don't need a lawyer. I'm not wearing a wig or gown.
Your language now.
You know? I said, let us fix Nigeria. He said, it's Abuja people that will fix Nigeria. I said, okay, well, we are here in Lagos today. That plane, can you please come down from that bus? So when she saw my boldness, she came down, and I told the driver to move. But do you know the shocking thing there? Nigerians were there just watching.
That's what we are
That's
saying.
what we are telling them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what this
They were
program is
just
talking about.
watching cinema.
They turned you to Nollywood.
Exactly.
And possibly if any argument ensues, then they would have
altercation.
taken their phone
Exactly.
and, you know, capture
Like you say,
moments.
lawyer fight
If
police.
we are going to pursue
Yes.
righteousness in this land, let's get involved.
Yes.
So when we left the place, the bus driver parked and he was trying to say, I said, no, don't thank me. Next time you see someone
Something like
who
that.
needs
Some,
help, you
support.
also help. So when we do this, and you know, like you said, sir, you can imagine how we have engaged the government in recent time on their policies. In fact, sometimes I finish in some TV stations, it's like DSS to be waiting for me outside. And my family members will be phone, be careful. I tell people, we can sit down and just be enjoying the blessings of God, but it makes me feel like crying when I see poverty on faces of people. I see children hawking groundnut till 9 p.m. in a country that is so blessed. It makes me feel like weeping.
The children that are supposed to be the best brains for tomorrow,
You know,
they
so
are
these
being
issues. So
wasted.
let's mobilize. Let's get involved. And you know, when the COVID-19 came, I predicted something that happened. That yes, now people are being forced to know each other, where they live, because they cannot run to the office. They became vigilante by force. So they started grouping. It's the same thing we are saying. If you have a councillor that wants to embezzle, don't go and be begging for money for naming ceremony. If you are not prepared for naming ceremony, don't impregnate your wife. You know, work for it. So when you don't go to them begging for peanuts,
them to do
come
what
and
they
fix
ought
this
to
bridge.
do.
Come and fix this road. Come and do this.
It's because they have eaten dodo.
Of course.
So they will
That
not be
is why.
able to tell the truth to power.
You know, so these are issues.
It's okay.
Very interesting.
Any other?
No messages for
Okay,
now.
then.
Most of them are just enjoying the program and the contributions.
Barista have carried everybody away. Me too, Papa. I don't know what to ask.
I'm just enjoying it. It's like
Okay,
watching
I go ask you. Let me. What I go ask you, Barista? Because I don't know what thing to talk again. You don't finish. You have finished
praying
me.
for Nigeria with this new call. You can see the revelation of the subsidies. 7 trillion naira per annum shared by some people. So why wouldn't they sponsor Boko Haram?
You
why wouldn't they sponsor crime?
You see?
So let's support the good efforts at repositioning
this
the
country.
The pain will come,
but
the gain
will be so enormous. Serious, serious gain.
Let's give this support.
Just as Barrister said some few seconds ago, impregnating your wife means that some 9 months' time, there will be joy.
Naming ceremony.
Naming ceremony, bundle of joy. But in between, some few moments in between, that woman will be in a state of pain. But the joy is that people like us now come out of our mothers, and they are happy that, of course, this is my son, this is my daughter. That is the gain. And that is what we want everybody to look at in Nigeria now. We have to support government, play our roles. Barrister Ologun has really delved into these issues seriously. And to me, it is something that we should take home. But before we go, just in a nutshell, the police, what role can they do? Because sometimes, generally, everybody sees the police as its enemy. It is only you and I that can confront the police. The police are interesting in this country. Can they be civil? Maybe you give us an example of if you have any encounter outside Nigeria with the way they behave in this country.
You know, like I said, I'm a chief superintendent of police, and I can tell you the police is a necessary institution.
Okay.
We have a good
Not
police.
a necessary evil.
No. We have, if you look at the mission and the vision,
yes,
the vision of the Nigerian police is to give us a secured
environment
for national development.
Yes.
There are very wonderful officers.
Yes.
Though there are some, like in law,
yes,
you have them
yes,
everywhere in
yes,
medicine,
yes,
that we need to work on. And it's all about orientation. In fact, that is what attracted me to that profession.
Okay.
So that we can go back to the mandate. And we need to start from the macro level.
Okay.
If you trace the history of the police in Nigeria, you may find yourself back in 1872 or so.
Yes.
We don't have all the time for that now.
Yes.
And the various milestones. And when you look at what prompted the formation of the police, we still have a lot to reform to bring it to
modern.
But I can ask this simple question. Imagine a society in Nigeria without police for 1 week. So you don't want to imagine that.
Anarchy.
So they are doing their best, they're wonderful, and I can let you know the leadership is always engaging to, fine-tune the deliverables. And don't forget also that some just come because there's probably no other job to do. So all those things have been attended to. But the police institution is a necessary institution in a viable society. So we commend those who are fantastic, and we'll keep engaging those who need to be further reformed.
Yes.
Sometimes some act out of frustration and things like that. But those efforts are out to ensure that they are brought on the same page with global standard. But globally too also, you can have some police excesses once in a while. But having said all this, it's still about our society.
True.
The officers all come from the society. So if we engage at the early stages, then it will be a brighter future for us.
Okay, very interesting. I must say, if you notice, since the moment Barrister came in, I knew definitely he had a lot of things to want to pour out. Basically, when they say where elderly men sit down, you just listen and you learn. And I must say, I'm learning, and it's interesting. Sitting down here and listening to the both of you, I'm like old school one this year and that year, and I'm like, okay, wow. One day I'm going to get there. It's been an interesting one.
God
seriously.
will keep you alive.
Amen.
You even pass that side.
Oh,
Pastor,
yes.
pray for her. Pray for her.
Receive it. You
I
go from
receive
glory
it, yes.
to glory, from strength to
Yes,
strength.
yes, amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, I will say this, Barrister Jide, thank you so much. It's been an interesting, amazing, intelligent, fun ride with you here from start to finish. And of course, this time around, I will boldly say I agree with Barrister that you failed this exam.
Yeah, you agree.
And you'll be coming again next week because it was fun. And yes, thank you for everyone that joined us. It's been an amazing ride with you all. I will see you next week. My name is Rose Blossom. Do have a fabulous weekend.
Yes, a great weekend. Please do that. I don't know what to say. Rose has finished the whole thing. The only thing I will say is to say thank you. I was in an event the other day, and one Baba, he's a retired judge. He said, "There's nothing you can say after thank you. Any other thing is superfluous." So thank you. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Again, since both of us have agreed, then definitely you have failed to this program and you are coming back. And do we schedule you for next week? You check your diary and we'll know.
No problem.
Please.
God bless
And on
Nigeria.
behalf of everybody, including the cameramen, our producers, Mr. Ajayi, and all, including the chief executive of this program, the president
Himself.
Chief Steve Ojo, we want to appreciate every one of you for this wonderful production. And you can be sure, God keeping us next week. Even the man of God has already prayed. Though he did it to only you, but you know the prayer will pass. I'm the middleman here. I've already grabbed it.
My word.
So till next week, I send that prayer to you. It shall be well with you too in Jesus' name. Have a great week.